Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Jade GUNN.
What's
Hello,
up, man?
hello.
Peace. Good to see you.
You
Yes.
too.
You
Welcome
look
to
healthy. You look happy. It's some good energy coming from your direction. So that's cool.
Yes. Thank you. I love to hear that. Thank you for joining me on the exchange today.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you? How have you been? I know Black August Park just ended in August. Now we're in October. Happy October 1st.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm good. As we discussed before, I'm blessed. I feel like 2020 is reminding us to be grateful for what we would have in previous years described as the little things. You know what I'm saying? But they're really the big things: family, friends, life, health, things like nature, right? Like being able to go outside and breathe clean air. We value that a lot more now. You know what I'm saying? So
Indeed.
I'm great. I'm fortunate, man. It's been a challenging year for so many people, and not that it hasn't been challenging for me and my family in some ways, but I'm happy to get a chance to wake up every morning and try it again. Yeah, man, I've been trying to center gratitude in my life, and it changes things. Like I wake up every morning, things that make me worry or afraid, or all the anxiety that comes with COVID, and in conjunction with the constant onslaught of Black people being murdered, it can be really daunting. So I remind myself to be grateful for something every day, and that's been keeping me sort of balanced throughout the year. So I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah, me too. I agree. And even yesterday, like just finding appreciation in the sun going down, like the fact that I was able to catch my well-lit golden room, and I was like, did I leave a light on? And it was just the sun. And I was like,
beautiful.
Oh my goodness, how amazing.
Yeah. I hope that spirit carries over for everybody after this, right? I hope people remember to be more grateful. We get a little spoiled, but COVID is reminding us to get back to basics. So hopefully that carries over.
Yeah, and our freedom. I think we take our freedom for granted. I think one of the things that I was grateful for this morning, I was like, I'm so grateful that I get to take a shower in privacy.
Yeah, word up.
Or I could be like having to take showers with a bunch of other people. Like you just never know. You think about internment camps and all kinds of things that are going on now. You just never know.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
And you're an activist. And I was just kind of reading up on this interview from Indie Week and with Jade Wilson.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing photographer, by the way.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a good thing to know, because I would love.
Yeah. Jade is the shit.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
Can we curse on your podcast?
Say whatever the hell you want to say.
All right, word up.
And I really appreciate. I was moved by it. I appreciate one of the things I took some notes on it, and you said something. I'm going to quote you. You said the root of all of our challenges is economics and the ability to provide for our families. And then you said, I think violence is most often a function of poverty. Folks aren't out here breaking the law because they're bad people. They're breaking the law because they're making an economic decision. When scarcity exists, people are fighting over food. So I have to ask you, because the reason why I'm doing the exchange is because this question popped up in my head. And that was, what problem would you dedicate the rest of your life to solving?
Yeah.
And for me, I know those problems are misery and poverty. So as a licensed therapist, I'm helping people with that, and then I've got I'm developing my serial entrepreneurial mindset. But for you, based on this answer, it holds so much. Can you just share more?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about mitigating or eliminating poverty too, right? I think it's two sides to that coin, right? So many of the challenges that we face in our nation, in our cities, even in our neighborhoods is centered around this concept of scarcity, right? And whether scarcity is even real or not is another conversation we should have, because I think that the planet provides plenty for all of us, right? but we've created these systems where some people have a lot and some people have none, right? And a lot of that is steeped in racism. A lot of it is steeped in sort of one group of people trying to hoard resources and prevent others from accessing them. Another long conversation, but broadly speaking, the sort of symptom of that is these concentrations of poverty that we have, right? Like we call them the hood, right? We're like, oh, you know, that's the hood. We drive through the hood, but you know, and we know when we're in the hood, like you can tell. And what you're seeing is the poverty that exists, right? It's like there's through many intentional steps, our nation has created pockets of wealth and pockets of poverty, oftentimes adjacent to one another, right? You know, you're from Philly, right? There's neighborhoods in Philly that are as poor. The poorest neighborhoods in Philly are not far from the wealthiest, right? And I always think about Camden when I think about Philly. Like people who live in Camden have to look right across the river at this beautiful skyline of Philadelphia that they can. It's a 5-minute drive across the bridge, and it's crazy. I've been spending time in St. Louis lately, and across the river from St. Louis is East St. Louis, Illinois, which is like one of the poorest cities in the country. And it's the same thing. If they look out their window at their apartment, from their apartment in East St. Louis, they see this glorious skyline in St. Louis where all the money is, right? And that's always been like, even as a kid, I always noticed that. Like, why is one side of the river got everything and the other side has nothing, right? So, you know, becoming more of a student of economics and understanding that, I've become really passionate about eliminating poverty. And what I'm really trying to do is call people on their bluff, right? So like people in, in Durham, where I'm from, talk all the time about crime, right? So much crime in our city, and people are being killed and shot. And I say, so what, do you want to really do something about it? And I think some people think they do, but what they really want to do is just lock people up, right? They're like, all right, if we just lock up all the bad people, right? We lock up all the bad people, then there'll be no more crime. History tells us that's not a solution to our problem. Root causes of crime are essentially poverty, scarcity, right? So I'm super passionate about solving that. That's one of the reasons why I do the work I do with like chambers of commerce and consulting with communities on how to build stronger entrepreneurial ecosystems. It's all steeped in my desire to make our world more equitable. You know what I mean? Like,
please talk more about entrepreneurial ecosystems. Like, what is that?
You know, when we think of entrepreneurs like you and me, right? We had an idea, and we go out and we work our ass off to turn that idea into a business and make money and hire people and grow our own little tiny economic engine. But we can only get so far without a supportive ecosystem, right? And so there are components in places like Silicon Valley, right, California, where all these tech startups happen. They don't just happen because Steve Jobs was brilliant. He was smart, but he had so much support, right? He had people that he could go get money from. He had lawyers that could teach him about contracts and engineers that he could use to help develop his products. That's an ecosystem, right? But communities are now recognizing that we have to be intentional about building those. And I think if we're intentional about surrounding people with the things they need to succeed, all of our communities will be better for it, right? Because it's two sort of thoughts, and you got me on my soapbox now, so just tell me to chill. We can grow jobs, we can bring in Amazon and Apple and big companies in the communities to hire people, and I think that's an important thing to do because not everyone is an entrepreneur,
right?
But a more sustainable way to grow economies is by helping people with brilliant ideas turn those into businesses. So entrepreneurial ecosystems do that. And the communities that have bought into that are doing really well with it, and those that are behind the curve are struggling.
It's crazy. So the first thing that came to my mind when you said that, first of all, I love that, people help people with their brilliant ideas grow them into a business, create, the power of creativity. And then I think also like there's the whole mindset thing, the whole mindset concept. I mean, where does poverty come from? And like you said, that's a whole nother conversation, but you're talking to somebody who's just all about energy anyway, and the mind, and just helping people to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And like, why is it so hard to just like cross over? Like, you might have an entrepreneurial mindset, or you might not have an entrepreneurial mindset, but you have a brilliant idea. So how do you draw that connection? So those are some of the things that I'm always thinking about, because I have like fought to become that person that's not just a person walking around with brilliant ideas, but somebody who
Yeah.
manifests a building around that idea.
Yeah.
And now you got me thinking like a whole ecosystem out of that idea.
That's right. Yeah. And you would be so much more powerful if you had the right supportive ecosystem around you, because that energy that you have and that brilliant idea can't exist in a vacuum. You gotta have people to help catalyze that and turn that into a business.